Hello, my name is Maria Perez. I am a double major in accounting and management, and I'm going into my senior year. But for this week's video, I wanted to go ahead and reflect on what we learned in class, which is just how the difference that some countries deal with their sustainability and how they maintain that, and how they reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this past weekend, I spent some time in Paris, France, and I had a moment where I was walking on the street and I saw a grocery store, which is not a typical grocery store, which includes a lot of plastic. This specific grocery store is a weigh by what you need kind of grocery store. So the concept means, sorry for the, so for the concept is that you're supposed to bring your own container, and before you walk in you weigh your container, then you go around the store and you pick what items you'd like. And it's basically kind of like how HEB does their healthy living section with the nuts and the seasonings. That's kind of how the whole grocery store goes. So you weigh your container before you go, and you pick up as much product as you need and then weigh it again at the end, and that's how you pay. So it's kind of like a pay as you go kind of thing, and that way you are able to get just the right amount of ingredients that you need for the week, and of course eliminate waste by eliminating all the plastic and paper that's used in normal grocery stores. So I thought that was really cool that I actually got to witness one of those. It was actually sadly closed, so I couldn't fully go in, but I'd like to insert a video at the end of this clip to kind of show you what I saw and how I reflected that to this week's lecture. But I also noticed that here in Spain, there's not just one kind of waste bin out on the streets. There's multiple for glass, plastic, and of course just other waste. So I thought that was really cool, and definitely a challenge coming from the United States, where people just usually recycle one bin, which is full of paper and plastic, and here in Spain you have to separate it out before you throw it out. Definitely been a challenge in our apartment because we are not that well of doing it, but of course we have to adapt to the country's cultures. So that's what I learned this week.
Hi, my name is Presley White. My major is management, and I will be a senior next semester. So in class, we talked about maintaining sustainability and the different types of laws used in the different countries. So I'm going to start with how Europe keeps a sustainable environment. Some things I've noticed in my weekend trips and my trips in general is that a lot of the places we visit don't use plastic, and we have to carry all of our stuff in our hands, which I thought was crazy, but also very good for the environment and sustains a healthy environment. Another thing that I noticed was, cut it off. So instead of using plastic, I've noticed they use paper or cardboard to keep their environment sustainable and maintain a healthy environment, even though this may not be the most wisest choice or the most efficient choice. So now I'm gonna be talking about the different laws that have been used in different countries. So this weekend I visited Portugal, where I experienced the city and really dived into the Portuguese culture. I visited the beaches, wineries, different cities, and the rivers. And Portugal, like most European countries, adopted a civil law system, which means they have an extensive and frequently updated codes, unlike the United States, which doesn't have the civil law system. So thank you for listening, and now I'm gonna pass it over to Hunter.
Yay!
Hello everyone, my name is Emily, and this week I went to Switzerland. And if you already know, Switzerland has one of the highest quality of life ratings in the world, the entire world, and is also one of the richest countries in the world. And I'm going to talk about why that is. So for starters, that's because they are very exclusive with their exporting and importing. So everything is self-made, and it's almost like quite literally no one else is allowed to sell. They have like no competition, if that makes sense. So therefore, they can choose to make everything so incredibly expensive because it is self-made there, if that makes sense. As well, their taxes are way higher because things have to be paid for, you know, like very low cost in healthcare means, you know, that taxes got to be higher because who else is paying for that? For example, there aren't as many like suppliers of water bottles. There's like one brand, if that makes sense there. Whereas like in Barcelona, there's 10 different kinds of water bottles that you can buy. A small water bottle here in Barcelona can cost you 70 cents, 75 cents, up to €1. In Switzerland, it can cost you 5 to 10 francs. So, of course, again, they also have a different currency. I'm gonna go ahead and insert some pictures of this weekend and how beautiful Switzerland is, because they are not lying when they say the quality of life there is superior to any other country I have ever been to.
Hi, my name is Hunter Bonda. I'm a senior and I'm a management major. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about environmental sustainability, and especially within Spain, Barcelona, I'm going to be talking about the big key facts, why it's such an important topic that we learn in class. A big thing that Barcelona is known for is all of the tourist attractions that make it so beautiful, the architecture, the food, everything, like the culture. People travel across the world to go view a bunch of stuff, and then just not only traveling there, they have to pay for hotels or Airbnbs, and they also have to pay for food, and nothing is really free that is worth seeing, so you obviously have to pay for tickets and all the attractions. Well, with all the population growing in general, it's very hard to have enough places to stay, and a lot of businesses are doing pretty well around the tourist attractions, but there's also some parts of town where it's less likely that you want to stay there because it gets super trashed, like super filled with trash. I've noticed by the big tourist attractions at night. I recently went to the Eiffel Tower, and there was a lot of crime by the Eiffel Tower, and there's a lot of trash that's left over from all the tourists and all the people selling a bunch of stuff. And I think, who's going to pick it up at the end of the day? That's a big issue. The tourists don't always respect the area, so the local people, they are stuck dealing with all the trash, and pickpocketing is a big deal, especially from people who travel across the world, because they're not used to pickpocketing, especially in America. I know that was a big deal coming over here, and something that we were warned about. But back to the environmental sustainability, I think finding enough housing, not only for people that live there, but also for all the tourists. It's very hard to find it in such a small community with all of the people. So that is a big issue that I think needs to be addressed.